Get ready to celebrate community, creativity, and compassion because the Kindness Market is throwing a big birthday bash. This Sunday, June 15th at Great River Brewery in Davenport. It runs from noon to 5 p.m. This festive pop-up will bring together dozens of local vendors and even some adoptable dogs. Joining us today is Courtney Walter, the founder of the Kindness Market. Courtney, welcome back to the show.
Yes, thanks for having me as always.
Thank you so much for being here today.
Yes.
Okay, so let's just start with the Kindness Market itself before we kind of get into all the fun that's happening this weekend. Talk a little bit about when you started it, why you started it, and what it is.
Yeah, so I started it a couple years ago. I have my business Needed Kindness. It's a local in-home bakery here in the Quad Cities. So I really like, my sales are based on vendor events throughout the area and private orders. So I really wanted a market to just bring everybody together, all of the vendors, so there was one spot, you know, for everybody to shop. And I handpick all of my vendors just so that there's a good selection, not duplicates of everything, so you're really getting a good variety of them.
Yeah, it's wonderful. And I know you were telling me before we got started today, there's still vendors that are reaching out to you about this weekend. So it is a big birthday bash.
Yes.
Talk a little bit more about what makes this edition of the market so special to you.
Yeah, so I like to theme all of my markets each year just to give it a little extra fun. So this year on the 15th is actually my 25th birthday.
Wow.
So I decided to theme it around that. Not only is it Father's Day, but it's also my birthday. So themed it all around that. And then Rescued is going to be benefiting from proceeds from the event. So I donate a portion of the raffle proceeds and then also vendor fees that I collect. And I've worked with Rescued for over 8 years. So it's really just a good nonprofit that I wanted to benefit.
Yeah, that's great. Well, happy early birthday.
Thank you.
Before we get too far. So let's talk a little bit about the vendors. You were telling me more than 25 of them are going to be coming out to Great River Brewery.
Yes.
So what kind of shopping can we expect?
Yeah, so there's a little bit of everything. We've got youth vendors, so some t-shirt vendors they started making.
Oh my gosh, those are youth created?
Yep, youth created, and then also 3D Prints is a youth vendor. There's going to be some artwork and bracelets by youth vendors.
Oh wow.
And then we've got some freeze-dried candy, some home items, bath and body products, of course, and then baked goods. But really, there's more than that. There's so many different vendors, something for everybody. I've got a hot sauce vendor, stuff for everybody, really.
Yeah, that's great, especially on Father's Day. Like it's a little something to do with Dad. That's maybe a little bit different.
Yes.
And then this is all Needed Kindness stuff.
So that's all my stuff.
It looks delicious. So while I have it in front of me and while I have you here, talk a little bit about what you brought.
Yeah, so what I brought today, I brought Gourmet Chow, which is always a popular choice. Yeah, it's puppy chow, and then lemon cake cookies, so they're just a really soft cookie, lemon flavored. And then the Dubai cookie right next to that. So if you've heard of the viral Dubai trend, so it's mixed with the kataffi and pistachio crunchy filling on the inside, and then it's my traditional brown butter cookie on the outside. And then the cookie next to that is also my traditional brown butter cookie. So that's my signature item, and then I just stuffed the Dubai filling inside of that just to give it a little extra crunch and something unique.
That is huge.
Yes.
So it's in my hand, in case anybody is wondering. Amazing. So yeah, there's going to be quite a variety of things for people to check out and purchase. Now, you briefly touched on the youth vendors. So this is something that you always incorporate ever since I met you. So why do you feel like it's so important to have youth participate?
I just love seeing like all the young entrepreneurs starting early. Getting out of your comfort zone is a big thing of mine. So always like to see just them start young. So yeah, I've always liked to showcase at least a couple of them, even if they're set up with another vendor, like their parents or something. It gets them out there, gets their name out.
Yeah, it's truly special that they get to be a part of this, and I think a lot of times people will be surprised at what they are able to create.
Definitely.
You wouldn't know half the time that a kid is making these products and selling them. It's really impressive. There's a lot of interactive fun as well.
Always.
So tell us about Vendors Bingo.
Yeah, so I started that just to get everybody in the door. It's a free interactive thing, so everybody who enters will get this little vendor bingo sheet. It has all the vendors' names on it. You don't have to purchase anything from all of them. You just walk around and they'll stamp it. And then at the end, before you leave, you'll turn it in, and then you get entered in to win a door prize with that.
That's awesome.
So completely free. It just gets, you know, the vendors to interact with everybody. Just tell them a little bit about your business and everything like that.
Yeah, it's mutual. It works
Yes.
both ways. Okay, there will also be some giveaways and grab bags.
Yes.
Talk about
So
the grab
these
bags.
are going to be the grab bags. They're going to be filled with all kinds of stuff.
Wow.
So a reusable tote bag. Yeah. So they'll have different stuff from vendors, different coupons, little mini like sample items. But the first 10 adults are going to get those. So we'll have a line waiting out the door at Great River Brewery to get in at 12 o'clock. So the first 10 will get those. And then the books over there, I reached out to a local vendor, and they're actually all for the kids.
Oh my
So
gosh.
instead of the blind date with a book that you normally see, she names them play date with a book. So the first 10 kids are going to get those. I just always like to include, you know, the kids in all of that too.
This is so great. Playdate with a book, Healing Friendship, and it's a chapter book, right? It's important that we know that for the kiddos.
Yes, there's all different books. So I've got some like smaller board books and stuff too for like toddlers, but all different kinds for the kids.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
And of course, we told everybody this at the beginning of the segment. There will be adoptable dogs there. So Canine Kindness Rescue is a part of this.
Yep. So I work with them frequently. They're all foster based. So sometimes it's hard to get dogs adopted when you can't just go to the shelter and look at them. So we're going to have a couple different dogs there just throughout the day. They'll have little different spots, but there's an upstairs room that they'll be at, so you can come in and play with them and maybe take one home.
Okay, wonderful. I just love that you've incorporated that. Obviously something that you care about greatly.
Yes.
And then finally, tons of raffle baskets. I think more than 30.
Yes, over 30. So all the vendors participate, and they bring raffle baskets, as well as I bring some extra, and then 50% of the proceeds from that goes right back to Rescued. So you're really just benefiting everybody in our community and all the animals.
Yeah, I mean, everybody leaves with a big smile on their face.
Definitely.
That is wonderful.
Yes.
The Kindness Market, as it is so aptly named, Big Birthday Bash is this Sunday, June 15th at Great River Brewery in downtown Davenport from noon to 5. It is free to attend with more than 25 local vendors and those adoptable dogs. Courtney, wonderful job, and thank you so much, and happy birthday.
Thank you.
And have a great weekend. Yes, thank you so much for coming on the show.